Hi everyone, welcome back to the shop, Ed's Metalworks. This is part 2 of my VICE restoration project. I hope you all got to see part 1, the struggles to get this VICE apart, but we got it apart. I thought I'd give you a little quick review of the parts inside these VICEs. Most of them are about the same, you know, some variation one way or another, but anyway, we're going to look at these parts in this vise, and I'll point out a unique feature that I haven't seen before. But anyway, here we go. Alrighty. This is the parts from inside the vise here. Of course, we got our screw. You can see here's the collar that goes on here. To lock it to push the movable jaw open. Well, as you saw in the last video of my process, I sheared that first set screw off and I put another one in there. I ain't sure. I think we're going to just make a new collar for that. We'll take a look at it after we get everything cleaned up. But anyway, here's the nut from inside the vise in the stationary jaw. It slides into this dovetail here. See if I can give you a little. It slides into that dovetail, and then that pin, you drive that pin in there down this hole here, and that's what holds that in there. But looking at this nut and then looking at this screw, this vise has not had a lot of abuse. It's all the threads on this are pretty square still. Usually if you find one that's been used and abused a lot, some of these threads are, you know, they're rolled over almost round instead of a square Acme type thread. But so this one either froze up on it soon in life, or they didn't use it a whole lot. But anyway, that's the locking nut or the collar for the opening jaw. And here's the thrust washer that goes, flipped over here. Goes on here for the movable jaw. That's the close pressure is what this thrust washer takes up, and that don't even look like it's abused too bad. I've had a couple that this is so wore out in here. The thrust washer's completely gone. This is so wore out in here that I've had to surface this in here and make a new thrust washer, a thicker one. Anyway, you can see I got all the weld splatter ground off these and smoothed up both sides. It wasn't too bad to get that off of there. It did look like steel. I thought it might have been brass at one time or something, but it cleaned up pretty good. Of course, the jaw's still smooth. I don't know if they came that way or what, but I do want to point out, excuse me, on this movable jaw, maybe it's the other side. I don't know if you can see, I'm hoping I'm getting a good light. It's shaped like a T, the jaw face. It's got a nice T shape in there. But yeah, I'll get a pen and kind of outline that for you. This is kind of a unique feature. I've never run across a vise like this, but let me outline that for you. It's shaped like that. You can see how that, and then on the bottom, there's these, I don't know if I get a good shot of them little, let me get my flashlight, give you a little better shot. There's these pins or whatever they are. Once I get it cleaned up, I'll maybe investigate that farther, see if them jaws are removable. Jaw faces. But this one here is the same way. Try and give you a shot of this. Yeah, see, now you can see, 3 little pins that hold that in there. But anyway, that's what's inside a VICE. We're gonna get it all glass bead up, and I'll show you after we're done with that. That's kind of a boring process, so probably won't get much video on that. But this Colombian 504.5 is on its way to recovery. Alrighty, we'll bring you back when we get a little further along here. Alrighty guys, here we are. We got one part of the VICE bead blasted. It was really rusty, but got it pretty well cleaned up. Now all these running surfaces, I'm going to tape them off, like through here and through here. I'm going to tape them off so we don't get no paint on them. And then once I get it all painted, we'll oil them or grease them up good. That's where this part of the VICE slides in and out on. But there it is, pretty well cleaned up. I'm going to tape this off and get some primer on it. I use Rust-Oleum primer for rusty metal. It's a red oxide like this here. But I got to get that done pretty quick, because just sitting here overnight it'll start to rust again. So we'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and get that all taped up. I won't show you that on camera because it's pretty boring, and we'll get some primer on there. Alrighty, you can see I got all the sliding surfaces for this part of the VICE. I got them all taped off inside there. I'm sure that these VICEs, they probably never left the factory with this amount of detail, but I like getting them all gussied up. It's the right thing to do on an old tool. Anyway, here you go. I'm going to get some of my red oxide primer, Rust-Oleum rusty metal primer, and get this piece primed up. Alrighty guys, we're proceeding along with this VICE project. I got the one half all primed, cleaned and primed, blasted, cleaned and primed. I try to paint up inside everything when I do this. I necessarily won't put the color coat in there, but I like to get some of that primer in there. But anyway, we got this. This is the movable jaw on this VICE. We'll try to condition this surface a little bit, polish that up, and I got a wire wheel and like a Scotch-Brite surface conditioning pad. We'll see what polishes it up a little bit, and I'll set you off to the side here and let you watch a little bit of that. Alright, we'll hit it with the wire brush first. That shines it up a little bit. You can see right in here where it was inside the base of this was frozen up in here. It's got a little pitting square around here, but we can't get all that pitting out of there. We're not going to try to. We're just going to shine it up a little bit, and we'll put a little WD-40 on it for the rest of its life. But all right, I'll try one of them surface conditioning discs on here and see what it does. This is one I'm talking about, surface conditioning. These, I don't know, Scotch-Brite pad, for lack of a better term. I don't know for sure what they're called, but these are mostly the areas that won't be painted, so. Couple little casting marks in there that will sand off of there. Don't want to hit it real aggressively with this. Just want to polish it a little bit. That's probably about as good as we're going to get it. We'll wire brush it a little bit more. Alright, then that's about as good as we're going to get it. You can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, it's still got some pretty good pitting in it where it must have set in the water hole or whatever. But overall, we got it cleaned up pretty nice. We'll get these machined areas. See where they run their cutter up to in here. Same way with this bottom side, they run their cutter up to there. But we'll get this taped up and put some primer on it, and I'll bring it back. Let me show you the finished product at that time, I suppose. Well, we got the vice parts all cleaned up, painted. Looking good. That's just brush paint. Sometimes I spray, but it seemed to be easier to brush this time. Anyway, what I use is this Rust-Oleum hammered paint. This is dark green is what it's called, but I did do one other Colombian Vice this color, so I'm gonna stick with this color for all the Colombian Vices that I do, I guess. But one thing important about this I know on my other Rust-Oleum solid color paints I just use regular mineral spirits for thinning and cleaning. This stuff you have to use Xylol. The mineral spirits don't touch it. But anyway, that's the only difference I found. It seems to go on really nice. I like the finish and the look of it. But anyway, we're working on putting things back together, and there's that collar. I got it over here, this collar. I got to rebuild this collar. Let me get it for you. This is the collar that I sheared off the set screw and pushed it back when I was trying to get this thing apart. Way more pressure on that than is ever intended to be. You can see how far I slid it back to this hole. And then I drilled it out and went to 3/8 and got it back in there so I could get it apart. But anyway, this is cracked. You can see it's got a little crack in there. And the threads aren't in there straight, so it won't line up with the hole now. The set screw wants to go in at an angle. Anyway, it's 1 3/8 outside, 7/8 inside. No big deal. Looks like from this angle, the hole is offset to one way. We'll probably make it a little wide and fit it as we put this back together. So, all right, I'll get you set up over in the lathe and we'll whip one of these collars out real quick. All right. Got you set up on the little Rockwell lathe here. I just happen to have a piece of 1 3/8. Already got a hole drilled in it, so we'll just continue with this. 1 5/8. Sorry. Let me see. No, it's 1 3/8. I got this marked 5/8. I don't know if you can see that, but that's no good for sure. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and this is nothing very precision, just a collar, set collar. So we'll go ahead and bore this out and see what we got. Let's see how deep this hole is. Get something that's in there. All right, we're about yay deep. What's that? 1 1/2 inches basically. So we'll set our bit up here and go in 1 1/2 inches. That's plenty of width for this. It's 3/4 wide basically. So. Alrighty, let's make a hole. Some cutting fluid here. Yeah, it's a little fast. Maybe we'll go to back gear here. Quite a bit. I don't know if it's that hole that was in there or what. There we go. see how deep we are here. Oh yeah, we're plenty deep. This is all we need. All right, I got enough. I got enough for make 2 of them almost. All right, let's take it out of back gear. And we'll face this end off. Alright, now we need to put a mark on here. How much we need. And we're going to make it a little bigger. So we can turn that to size after we get it fitted in there. Take the slop out of that screw. So, as all of you know, I don't have a whole lot of luck parting anything off. Maybe we'll try again, see what happens here. At least we'll get it marked. Square this up here on the land. Chuck. Alright, now we got an awful lot of stick out on here. Let's see if we can run some of that back. All right, and back into the back gear again. As usual, I have run into problems there. That's my parting off troubles. Alrighty. Hate sliding stuff in my truck like that, but what are you gonna do? Alright, let's surface or face this end off and out of back here. Like I said, we might have to fit this to size anyway when I start putting that vise together, but here we got us a new collar. Let's go over and try it on the vise screw. Well, it's a little bit tight. We're gonna have to skim a little bit off with the boring bar, I guess. That was a 7/8 drill. So we'll skim a little bit out of there with the boring bar. Get you set up here again and that'll work. Got a homemade boring bar here. measurement here. 87895. Eight. I think we might be there. Oh yeah. Shaft's got a burr. That shaft's got a little burr on it, but we'll dress that up and it'll slide on there. All right, we'll go to the mill and get a hole drilled in there and I'll get you set up for that. All right, guys, over here. Sorry, I got a little carried away. Got it spotted. We're gonna drill it for 5/16 coarse thread. So this is far from real precision work, but put a quick chamfer on that. Oh, I didn't get that one in there straight, did I? Ah, 5/16 tab here. All right, we got it started. Move it down here a little bit. Finish it by hand. If I can swing my tap handle in here or not. Oh yeah. Hope you're getting this. Alrighty. Got her all tapped out and ready to go. Like I said, we're gonna maybe have to fit this gap in here when we start to put it back in the lathe, or in the vise. But anyway, we got us a new collar made. Alrighty, I'll show you the finished product when we get her back together. Alright, here we are. We got everything all painted. Got the tape off everything. You can see how all the running surfaces we tried to tape. Our sliding surface, I tried to tape so we didn't get a lot of paint on there. All along the bottom of this. But there were some, oh, excuse me. There were some stamped letters and numbers along here. Whatever that means. I didn't paint over them. I thought it was kind of neat to expose that. But anyway, she's ready to go back together. Alrighty. I'm going to set you up here and we'll stick this thing back together. Alright, first of all we need a little grease on here. Put a little grease on here. All these freshly blasted surfaces, I'm gonna oil or grease, put one or the other thing on. And then this thrust washer goes on here. And grease on there too. Alrighty, so now let's put our screw in here. We got our new collar that we built to replace this one. This one had a crack in it and the hole was drilled and tapped crooked. So we got that new collar ready to go. Slide this in here. Get the new collar on there. Maybe. Before we get too far here, we're gonna stick us some grease. Both sides of this. Alrighty, got us a new set screw for, let's see if I can show you this down in here, how this all, hope you can see that. That collar locks the screw in position to move the jaw back and forth, but I'm using a pointed 5/16 sock head set screw that I dropped in there. Goes down in that detent in the shaft. Alright, got that locked down. Let's see how it works. Move the camera over here a little bit. Oh yeah. Very minimal backlash. Okay, we'll put a little grease on this screw. Not a whole lot, just to give it a little bit of lubrication there. All right, that pretty much completes the assembly of this end of it. You can see the set collar down in there. Goes in the detent of the screw shaft. But, all righty, let's get this. Get this piece ready to go. Just put shoot some oil on these pieces here. Just mainly keep everything rusting again. All right. Now we'll slide our nut into this housing here. Holy smokes. I guess it's going. Got a little bit too much paint in that crack, I guess. I don't know, I'm gonna knock that back out of there. That don't seem right for some reason. was in the other way. I could be wrong. Yeah, that might be it. Yeah, I had it in there backwards. There, we got it in there. All right, now I'll put that locating pin in there. This is the pin that holds it in place in there. There you can see that pin, how that pin sits in there. Alrighty. Oh, well, let's see if it screws together. Getting heavy at this point. Oh, it's a nice big vise for sure. Good to save it from the scrap yard. All right, let's oil this up a little bit. Well, there she is, folks, in all her glory. Another Colombian vise saved from the scrap yard. Considered it was a rusted hulk when I dug it out of the trash. It came out pretty nice. Got it all. You see, it's a Columbia 504 1/2. So there we go. It's another project in the record books. I want to thank all of you for joining along with me again. Sorry this got a little drawn out at times, but it's just the nature of the beast, I guess, filming. But thanks a lot. Comment on this if you want to see more of this kind of tool restoration or not. I don't know. I got a couple other welding projects coming up next, so we'll get to them. But if you like this tool stuff, we can find some tools to save from the scrapyard. Thanks again, everybody, for watching Ed's Metalworks, and give me a thumbs up, and we'll catch you on the next one.